Hey, this is Todd Phillips, your online pastor and personal life coach, and I want to talk today about a topic that's been a huge deal on email and Facebook as I've talked to lots of people over the last few months, and that's having more influence at work. I mean, after all, how many hours do we spend at work? Some of us 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. It's where we spend most of our waking days. Now, we can be depressed by that or excited by that, but it's the reality for many of us. So how do we have a greater amount of influence at work? So I'm going to talk about this over the next 2 weeks. I've got 6 things I want to share with you. I feel they're all very important, and I want to spend a little bit of time on each one. So this is going to be a 2-part video blog series this week and next. So again, how to have more influence at work. The first thing I want to talk about is becoming indispensable. Now, this is something that's kind of hard to really wrap our minds around or get very practical about it, but let me try it this way. One of the things that I've noticed in being in leadership, whether it's in churches or businesses over many years, is that as I've had people working for me or in my area, working underneath my leadership, one of the things that I've noticed is that I respond incredibly well when someone becomes indispensable. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you a great example. There was a gentleman that worked for me not too long ago that was working in a specific department, a specific area. He was involved in church planning and discipleship for ministry work we're doing overseas. And he had found out pretty early on in his job with us, just several months into his new role, he had found out that we needed someone that really understood Excel, it's the software package, Excel, and really knew how to manipulate that software package to do a couple of very important things for our ministry so we could measure certain things that were very important to us. And so he came into my office, he said, listen, I'm brand new on this staff and I know we've got a small group and you expressed a need for this and this is an area of expertise for me because of my last job. I wondered if I could do this on my own time. I know you've got me here for church planning and discipleship help in Liberia, but I'd love to do this on my own time. And of course, with such a small staff that we have at the Last Well, this ministry that I'm talking about, I sat down with him and I said, listen, I really appreciate that and I'd love for you to help us out with this. And so true to form, because he's a man of character, he did his major job during the hours that we were paying him for, but he decided on his own time on the weekends, at time where he had some spare time over the next few months, actually creating these Excel files for us and did a phenomenal job. And from my perspective, he became indispensable. And I'll tell you why. Because he was willing to lean into challenges. Becoming indispensable is really becoming indispensable in the perception of those that are in authority over you at your job. So what are their greatest perceived needs? How can you help them the most? And look for ways to lean into those challenging situations and become one of those people on the team that's indispensable. You want to have influence at your job? Become indispensable. The second thing I want to talk about is being the solution. In many ways, that's exactly what this gentleman did. He became the solution to a big problem. But we always need to be looking for opportunities for us to lean into those challenging situations and become the solution. Now, it takes a little bit of discernment to know the difference between leaning into a situation where we're very adept at doing that or becoming the solution and leaning into situations to try to impress our boss where we shouldn't be. There have been a lot of people that have worked in organizations with me before that have tried to lean into those situations, tried to become the solution, and we're not in any way able to accomplish the things they were leaning into. And so far from becoming indispensable, frankly, they became very dispensable. Are you with me? We've got to understand that we need to know when we're able to lean into those situations and become the solution and when we should stay out of it. But if you truly can help, look for opportunities to help. That's a way to have influence in the work environment. That's a way to become indispensable, leaning into those solutions or those problems and becoming the solution. Number 3, be positive. Absolutely refuse to be negative. Let me just say this, and I want you to kind of spend some time thinking about this after this video is over and as you go about your day. You need to absolutely refuse to let negativity take hold in your life. Negativity and having a critical spirit can be a cancer in an organization, an absolute cancer. One of the things that I learned very early on, and I've shared this in every circumstance I've been in leadership, I've always told people in my organization working with me that you complain up and you edify down. Let me say that again. You complain up and you edify down. And what I mean by that is simply this, that if there's a challenge, we don't share that with our peer group or people that we're in authority over. We go to our boss, people in leadership over us, and if we need to complain, if we have a concern or a critique, we take that up. But we edify and we encourage and we uplift, right? And we speak positively down into the organization. That's quite the opposite of being a cancer. That's a beautiful way to run an organization. You want to have influence at work? Always remember, complain up and edify down. Now, next week we're going to talk about 3 more things to have an influence at work, but remember these 3 things: become indispensable, be the solution, and absolutely refuse to let negativity take hold. Don't be that guy that's the negative guy. Always be that person who's positive and uplifting. If you've got problems, go up. If you've got encouragement, share that outward. That will build an incredibly strong organization. You will be contributing to that positive culture, and you'll have more influence at work. Until we talk again, live passionately, give generously, and have an impact on this world for God. Hey, it's Todd. Did you get something out of the video you just watched? I really hope you did. I mean, that's my passion, to give you something that can be applied rightly to your life right now. Listen, if that happened, I want you to go right here and just click on this subscribe button, and it'll take you straight to the page so you can subscribe to my blog and get this content coming to your inbox every week. I hope you'll let me do that. I hope you'll allow us to be on this journey together. We'll see you soon.